Now everybody scream enough respect to the X. Enough respect given.
What's up YouTube? It's NG, the Neon X, and I'm back. And today I'd just like to touch on the Surface Duo. As the title itself states, let's talk on the Surface. Like if you guys watch my previous post, you know that just recently did I start to use my Surface Duo once again, and as always I start to delve into it and try to figure out new ways to make it more unique to me in this current time. So as I search for these things, I always come across news and different apps and different methods that people use on their Surface Duo, and if it interests me, I try and apply it to myself. Well, today's more about the news more so than the application of these things that I found. That's coming soon. The first thing there is the Surface Duo is finally coming to Europe. It's coming, I think it's next week, February, I don't remember the exact date. But I do know that when it first came out in the Americas, people on my channel and many others and on the Reddits, everything else, were always asking if or when this device was coming. They were so excited to get their hands on it. They love to see the videos on YouTube and on all of the other forums. And they really wanted, when could they get to experience it for themselves? Well, that time is now, well, next week. And the Duo is finally being released abroad. So for all of you in the UK, Europe, and such that were excited for it, now is your time to get the device. But not only is it their time to finally get it, anyone in the States that has been curious about the device but maybe turned off about the price of the device, it's come to my attention that at least for now, at the retail spots, Duo is actually $400 cheaper. It kind of makes me a little, jealous, but such is the case when you are a early adopter. But at Microsoft, at Best Buy, not the carriers, not AT&T, but at the retail stores, you can get the Duo, the 128 gig for $1,000 brand new. That's $400 less than us early adopters paid. Hell, that's $400 less than someone who bought it 2 weeks ago paid. Of course, they have the option to return for the new price or get it price adjusted or what have you. But it is much more accessible now. So if anyone who was interested in the device, and a great device it is, was on the fence about whether or not to at least try it, this would be a really good time to try and get your hands on a Duo. This is the price point that personally I thought it would have done the best at. Yes, I still went ahead and I got for the $1,400, and there were those that paid more for it because when it first came out, it was a somewhat sought after high ticket item. So some people did pay even more than the MSRP, and it is what it is when you are an early adopter, like I said before. But to get now for $1,000 brand new, and if not, and I think $1,100 for the 256 gig is a really good deal, especially when you consider what exactly you are getting with that device. One of the most futuristic mobile phones to come out in a very long time. And even still, if that $1,000 for the device is still a bit much for you, and don't get me wrong, $1,000 is a lot of money, especially now. I have seen the device going through third parties and resellers for even less. I was on Reddit, and someone posted that they finally got their hands on a Surface Duo. They paid $480. They happened to check Facebook Marketplace, and someone was trying to sell theirs for whatever reason. I mean, to each their own. I don't hold against anyone. The Duo isn't for everybody, that is true. But someone was able to benefit from that and get a 128 gig Duo for less than $500. Of course, myself, just being curious, I went and I searched my own marketplace in my area, and sure enough, I saw the Duo going for between $600 and $800 pre-owned. I had half the mind to go buy the one that was going for $600 because it was unlocked, 256 gig too, for $600. Now the pictures that they had, I think it was a return to a Best Buy store because the sticker they had on it said $800. So whoever bought the device, they got it for $800, and they're just trying to recoup most of their money that they spent on it. So they were willing to let go for $600. But to someone in the market for a Duo, to spend $600 for what was originally a $1,500 device is a great buy. Like I said, I'd have the mind to buy that one and just say, screw AT&T and their bad service. Sell my AT&T locked model, at least hopefully sell it and just so I can pay most of it off and keep the one for $600 unlocked, more space, and be happy with that. It's honestly something I might actually do. I'm really thinking about that. Then I'm not so sure how much I would get for an AT&T locked variant. So I need to look into what the resale value of that is. But in all honesty, if I can recoup at least most of what I owe AT&T for the device and just add the difference and pay it off, I would not be mad at all. Because for the 256 gig, for a device that I genuinely enjoy using, it is still probably the most interesting and most enjoyable device I personally use. It would not be a bad purchase for me at all. Microsoft has finally released their monthly update for the device. They haven't released one since last year, November. The December one they passed up on. The January one did run late, but they did release it to the unlocked devices like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, and finally this week, as I'm playing with the device, as I'm starting to do things with it, I get the notice that the AT&T update is also ready for it. Now I got the update, and I don't know if it's me, if it's the placebo effect, as they say, but I can see a difference in how the device functions. I don't know if any of you did recognize, but I did switch to the gesture controls for the device most recently. Before I had the buttons because it was just easier to navigate with that, as the swipes just didn't work properly for me. But with this update, the gestures are working better. They're working all right when I first switched back, and now they seem to be working even better still. So that part alone has me excited for the future of Microsoft and their device. Like, it was meant to be you to swipes and swoops and fling discs and move over that just with your simple finger. The buttons weren't, they're an option, but it's not the optimal way to use the Duo. But now the gestures are working I would say 90% of the time, maybe even more. When I want to swipe something away, it works as it should. When I want to expand an app, it works as it should. Just that the input just wouldn't properly work, or would take more than one try to get it to work, seem to be working more naturally now. It's more fluid now. I'm able to get where I want to go and get done what I want to get done without the frustration of having to keep on going with the swipe until it reaches what I'm trying to do. I also noticed little animations that I personally didn't see before. Maybe they were there, but like I said, I did take a break from the device, and a lot of the little things may have just, left my memory. But I see with, for example, when you use the Swift key, certain things spin, or they turn, or seem to have motion to it just when you press a button or swipe something away. So it seems more alive in that way. Almost like the Microsoft Live Tiles, the way the Windows phones seem to be alive. Things just moved and swirled, and it was just a really beautiful sight to see. With the Duo, within the apps, certain things seem to do the same thing. So I don't know if that is something they add with this update. Maybe with the last update, I just don't remember. But either way, it's good to see. Another thing that I did recognize is now when you try to move an app from one page to a next page, when you have it highlighted and you begin to move, the edge of the Duo itself darkens or begins to light up, depending on how your settings are, to let you know what area of the screen you need to bring the app to get it to move to the next page. I mean, it was nice. It was nice to see that. I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before. But before, I would just bring it over and I would just hold it at the end and hope it moved over to the next page. But now it tells you where you need to bring it to, and it just goes. Just those little things that I personally saw that made the experience better for me with my Duo and how I like to do, and how I like to use it. I know that they said there are things where you could bring people into a group call, things along those lines. Personally, I've never had to do a group call on my Duo because, like I said, for me, it's not a business device like that. It's more recreational. And when I have a call, it's me and the other person, or in a vid chat. Very rarely do I have more than 2 or 3 people on a vid call or a group call at once, to a point where I have to bring someone else into it. It hasn't happened to me, so I don't know how well that works. But I know that was an option that they did add. They also said they improved the speakerphone. Now, before they improved the speakerphone, I did put in one of my tips and tricks videos on how you could improve the speakerphone with certain apps and adjustments. So being that I have been using that app and those adjustments since day one, I personally can't say how well the speakerphone has improved, because I don't want to undo the work that I've done within the app, but I have it set just how I like it. So they say that is there, and so it's good to know that they have addressed some of the issues that people were saying the phone had. Because not everyone is like me and likes to tinker with their devices and move things around and get third-party apps and install from unknown sources, all kinds of things that I do to my phones to make them more interesting, more unique. And everyone likes that. Some people like the phone to work right out the box and just accept however the manufacturer gives it to them, and depends on the manufacturer to fix what's wrong and send those updates, so they have that much less work to do, and that's fine. Me personally, that's not me. So when they said, oh, we changed this, I'm like, well, I already had that change, so I hope it does work for everyone who didn't follow along in my video or find their own means to improve the speaker. But it's good to know that that is there. Now, aside from that, I'm not really sure what else they changed. I know those were some of the highlight features. I know they said they squash bugs, so some of those things that I spoke about before, the slight animations, how things seem to move better, how things seem to respond better, those really could be the bugs that they squashed. Oh, there is one more thing there that I'm very happy with, and again, this could have been something that came around when I wasn't using the phone as much, but when I flip the phone from one side to the other, when it's in its phone posture and I want to go from screen A to screen B, it does it now. Before, I would flip the phone and the phone would not realize that it had been flipped, and the back screen that would be turned off simply stayed turned off. Now when I do it, the phone recognizes 9 times out of 10 it has been flipped, and the double tap to activate screen symbol comes up, and it just works. So I'm very happy with that, because like I said in my previous video, the most common task that the phone has you do should work flawlessly, or at least close to it. The regular everyday tasks that everyone will have to do should have no issues. It's part of the underlying experience of the device, and it's just work. And as it stands right now, the way the phone is, to most, it seems like it just works. Not that it's not without its flaws, but compared to what it was, it's a completely different device now, and I am still enjoying what the Surface Duo has to offer. I don't think there was any change to the camera from what I saw. People say that it takes better pictures now, that the lag between pressing the button and taking the picture isn't nearly as long. I can say that it's a little faster but then again, I don't take that many pictures with the device. So my memory of when I first got the device to now, as far as the camera goes, isn't the best, especially because I've been using third-party camera apps on my Duo that took great pictures. They had all of the perks of the Duo camera, and then they had all of the perks of the Google camera, night shot, and things along those lines. So I really couldn't say how well the stock camera of the Surface was or is in comparison to how it was, because I haven't really been using the stock camera on the Surface. That's just the truth. I've been using Camera PX and Gcam and things along those lines. Whenever I see a third-party camera that will work for it, I just try it out, and they tend to work pretty well. So there's that. So for those who do have the stock camera, I hope indeed it does work better than it did. I'm not the person to say it does, because I honestly have not been using the stock camera, or I haven't used it in months. It's been the other cameras that are available for it. But overall, I would have to say the Duo to me is in a good place. If you have an interest in it, you owe it to yourself to experience it. So between the Duo being readily available around the world, the price drop, the resales of it, not to mention Android 11 coming to it in the summer of this year, this is a pretty good time to get on board and experience the Duo for yourself. There's not really much else to say beyond that. If you've ever had an interest in the Surface Duo, now would be the time to get in on a Surface Duo, simply because it's more ready now than it was then. So all of your concerns should not be a worry anymore. There's even talk of the successor to the Duo possibly coming end of this year. I'd assume probably next year, the way things are going. But one way or another, Microsoft is backing this device, and things can only get better from here. So with that said, my name is NG, the Neon X, and the Surface Duo. This is what I'm into.